Hey, it's Ethan here at eTrailer. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Swagman Chinook Hitch Bike Rack and how it fits on our 2022 Toyota Tacoma. It's a 2-bike platform style bike rack capable of supporting 2 bikes up to 45 pounds apiece. It's going to hold on to our bikes primarily with this center mast and these frame hooks here, as well as 2 straps down at the bottom. So if you want to mix and match, we would recommend not using this with carbon frame bikes because it could potentially damage them while you're driving. And if you have a really aggressive alternative style frame bike, you might have to pick up a bike adapter bar to make it work, but let's check it out. The first thing we're going to show off is the tilt function, so it can tilt with the bikes loaded up. To do that, we'll just pull this lever here in the back. Might be a little bit hard to get to if you have 2 bikes loaded up, but for now, it's easy enough. It doesn't really do a lot of resisting on the way, so it kind of just falls naturally with gravity. It doesn't tilt quite aggressively enough for us to get full tailgate access. As we come down to that front cradle there, it will eventually make contact just before it opens fully. So we can open it, and if you have a tonneau cover, now would be a good time to sort of reach in and grab things close to the back. Or if you don't, you can step back here, grab anything you might need out of the back in that way. That would be the time to do it, but we can also tilt the rack back up pretty easily. It snaps back into place, and we can work on getting the bike removed. First thing we're going to do is get this front strap, so we'll press this button, pull the strap through. You can see that it does have a rubber pad here on the middle to protect your tire as well. Come here to the back now, do the same thing. Just press the button, release the strap, and then we can come up to these hooks here on the center mast. They do actually come all the way off. They also have these lock cores on them, which is going to allow you to just lock those up, secure your bike to the rack. Really easy to do that. It's nice that they do come all the way off, because then we can get the whole thing out of the way. From now, if we wanted to, we could also fold the center mast down to get that out of the way too, but this bike is pretty light in our case, so I'm just going to lift it up and over like that. With the bike off, we'll get everything put away, starting with our frame hooks here. The larger one will go on first. We just put that on the center mast, line that down, repeat that with the shorter hook here in the front. And now we can fold the center mast down. We'll just use this lever here on the side. Super easy, just pull that up. Make sure you engage it all the way or it won't be able to fold down. And just like that, you'll hear it click into place again. And we can talk about some things here on the tray. So I'm going to replace this strap here in the front. Take a closer look, you can see that there are different grooves for your different tire sizes. As they come, they support a tire width of up to 3 inches, but you can pick up fat bike cradles to support tire widths of up to 5 inches. On the back here, or on any cradle really, there are these hand knobs, so we can adjust and slide these along the tray to accommodate different wheelbases, in our case up to 50 inches. From here we can get some measurements to see what it's like to add this onto the back of your vehicle, starting with the distance from the bumper. So from here to the end of this cradle, it's going to come in at about 25.5 inches. So honestly, it doesn't stick out very far at all relative to some other racks. Ground clearance from the ground to this furthest point out here is going to be about 23.75 inches. So there's a nice rise in the shank, and the Tacoma sits pretty tall, so I'm not going to be worried about ground clearance or bottoming out at any point. If we want to though, we can save a little bit of space by folding the rack up using the same lever we used to tilt it away. You'll hear it again click into place, and we'll get that new measurement to see how much space we've saved. Now from the bumper to the furthest point out, it's going to be just over 15 inches, so we do save quite a bit of space that way. It doesn't sit very close. It might move just a little bit back and forth, but not going to get any closer than that. Not going to be potentially damaging the back of our car. We can also see what the bike rack is going to cover. So it is really low profile. It doesn't block a whole lot. Our backup camera is right here at the top. That's going to have tons of visibility. You might be able to see the rack just out at the very bottom. Our license plate is down there in the bottom as well. From a lower angle, it might be obstructed, but from other cars, you're going to be higher up, so you'll be able to see that just fine as well. Doesn't come anywhere near our taillights or get high enough to come into contact with our tailgate or our rear window. The rack uses an 1.25" shank that fits into our 2-inch receiver with this 2-inch sleeve. It's all held in place by an anti-rattle bolt with a lock on the end that's going to be key to those frame hook locks that we talked about earlier. So there might be just a little bit more than your average without the adapter, but for now it does a pretty good job of keeping everything in place. Overall, the Swagman Chinook is a really solid bike rack. It tilts, it folds, it does it all in a really low profile. So if you're looking for a pretty good value way to get two bikes up to 45 pounds where you need them to go, and you want a little bit of versatility with that, it's a great option. If you do want to maybe step up just a little bit, a way to get 20 pounds more weight capacity, 5-inch tire width right off the bat, and overall just a little bit easier to work with, you might want to check out something like the Rocky Mounts monorail. It is a good value option as well, in my opinion, but if you do just like this rack for all the features that we talked about in this video, I still think it's a really nice choice. This again was just a quick look at the Swagman Chinook and how it fits on our 2022 Toyota Tacoma.